Hi guys, so today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my favorite spots in Singapore that I would really love to visit over and over again, and I'm sure if I went back I would definitely hit as many of these spots as I could. And these are in no particular order, but number one on the list is a place called, sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but Chijmes. And this was a place that was kind of like behind a church, and it was kind of like a square. So it was kind of like a square area, and around the sides were different cafes and restaurants and bars. And then the reason I particularly enjoyed this spot was because in the middle there was like a couple trees and there was some grassy area, and what they had there were hammocks. I love hammocks, so I would go there and lay in the hammock and just, you know, rock myself side to side and just enjoy the sunshine and the heat and just relax, and it was wonderful and I really loved it. Yeah, number two on the list is Universal Studios. Now, I am a massive amusement park fan, so I got the season pass, and there was one week where I went to Universal Studios 3 times by myself. That's how much I loved it. And when you go by yourself, you can go into the single rider lines in most of the attractions where, you know, you can bypass a lot of the line oftentimes because most people will go there with someone else. But if you're by yourself, you know, you just fill in the vacant spots on the ride. So you end up usually being able to ride rides a lot faster. So I don't know, I just like the atmosphere there. I loved how, you know, Universal Studios have the different themes. You know, the Singapore one has Madagascar, Sci-Fi City, Ancient Egypt, Revenge of the Mummy. They have Jurassic Park, and New York and LA, I think. Yeah, like I just enjoy the feeling of being a kid again and going there, watching the fireworks show, seeing the parades and the performances and just all the setups, because the rides are very extravagantly done. It's not like thrill rides per se, it's more like the setups there are, you know, made to look like you're in Madagascar or made to look like you're in Egypt. So that's the part and aspect that I really liked, and I just really loved going by myself and just soaking up the atmosphere and just like having a day to treat myself. Third one on the list is the UTown Greens. So I did stay during my semester, I stayed at UTown, and they have in the middle of the housing area, they have this large expanse of like green grass, and during the day it gets really hot, but in the evening times once the sun has set and it's dark, it's quite nice and cool. So people would go out with like blankets and just lay in the grass, and that's what I would do. So I would just go lay in the grass. You know, it was actually a lot cooler than my room was because I didn't have any AC. So just laying in the grass, you know, listening to music, calling your friends back home. It was really enjoyable, you know, watching the moon and the stars, clouds go by, just, you know, people watching what other people were doing. It was just really relaxing and something I really liked to do when I had some free time in the evening. So that is another spot that I really treasured in Singapore. Now, fourth on the list is Shangri-La Resort. So this is a resort on Sentosa Island itself. So it's like way on the end near Siloso, I think. Near Siloso. So it's a quite big resort, and they have their own private beach and they have their own private pools and stuff. But what I did like was they had a jacuzzi, and a lot of the swimming areas and hotels and Airbnbs that I had been to during my semester there, like even in other places in Southeast Asia, it was kind of hard to find a jacuzzi sometimes, but this resort did have a jacuzzi, so I would just spend ages just laying and enjoying myself in the jacuzzi. And the beach, the resort did have peacocks as well, so when you'd be laying on the beach or laying in your sun chairs or whatever, peacocks would be just walking by, and at one point one came so close to my foot that I felt like it was gonna peck my toe off. And they did like movie screenings for kids in the evenings, and they had like balls you could play with in the pool. And then, but the part that I liked the most was towards like the edge of the resort, there was like kind of this castaway looking beach area where it looked like you would be like shipwrecked on an island, and it was just like this rocky beach with trees and cave looking things. I thought that was really cool. But like my absolute favorite part of that was overlooking the ocean. There's some patches of grass, and they had these big chairs you could just like sit and lounge in, kind of like couch chairs. But yeah, you would just like, you could lay in those and just look at the ocean, and the view from those to see the sunset, magnificent. Like the sunset views on those were phenomenal. It would just like be pink skies, and I must admit they had like some factories and like a lot of cargo ships going by. Not the nicest view, but the sunset was really beautiful there, and it was very peaceful, like just listening to the ocean and the waves and like hearing the ships, you know, bellow their horns or whatever. And no, this is not sponsored. I just really enjoyed that spot. And then finally on the list is a lookout deck, or kind of like a upper level deck at the Vivo City Mall. So Vivo City is right next to Sentosa, and it's where you can, you know, cross over by walking to Sentosa. They have a big mall there, and near some of the upper story restaurants they have a deck, and from the deck you can kind of, there's different stairs sort of where you can sit on, and number one, when the sun sets and it's like a nice clear day, the sunset view from there is phenomenal as well. And secondly, you can see the crane show, which is a free show they have at Sentosa, but you can see the crane show from the deck as well, which I did once. And as well, you get really good views of the, I don't know what it is, some kind of like channel, or a lot of local people as well. Like people would come and play their guitar there, have picnics with their girlfriends, you know, have dancing. There was like people dancing there with their friends and family. It's like a really fun place to just hang out. So that's another place I really enjoyed. So yeah, that was just my 5 favorite places in Singapore that I discovered over my semester that I enjoyed going to over and over again. Do let me know in the comments if you have been to Singapore. What are your favorite areas to visit? Next time I go, I would really love your suggestions and, you know, ideas on, you know, if you have a favorite place in Singapore, so I can know where to visit next time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I guess that just about concludes this video, so until next time. And just take a look at this little dog here. She's been such a good little girl. Buffy! So sleepy. And this other Willow, come here. Come here. Come here, come say hi. Come say hi. Oh, come say hi. Yeah. Come say hi to everybody. What a good girl. Isn't she cute? Isn't she a cute little girl?